Say it in common. Say it in common.
You're listening to Say It in Common, where we talk about it all, not just Dungeons and Dragons. I'm AJ Cannon.
Seth Templin.
Tyrel Merle.
Anthony Tate.
Anthony Tate.
Back
at it.
and in stereo.
Everyone's favorite. You know who you look like, Anthony? I meant to tell you this. I can tell you on the podcast. Hold on.
Sure. By the way, anybody who's listening, that's Seth doing that. So he's got like this incredibly deep voice.
Ennis Esmer. That's who you.
Who is that?
You're going to show a picture
It's
now.
a made-up name.
He
That's
plays
a great D&D name.
He plays a guy named Rich.com on Blind Spot, and he acts like he's you.
I was literally...
Wait a second. Is that...
He is you.
I don't know. This guy looks... I don't know.
Hey, y'all have similar hair right now.
I think
he's Middle Eastern though.
Yeah.
But still,
not,
you're
Hispanic.
Just the beard and just the beard and you'd have to watch the show. He says stuff like you would. Just always being
I was
funny.
legit thinking about this today. Like, Anthony is too funny not to be famous. Like, he would do well as a famous person.
You think? Yeah, he could be.
One time, he came to my parents' house with Megan Cannon and just stopped by. He was wanting to borrow a video game from me or something. And he had my parents just laughing so hard. And they're just begging him, come sit down and talk for a while. And he just keeps standing because he's wanting to leave so bad. And my parents just are enjoying his company.
I cannot stop talking. That is my worst. And the thing is, like, I don't mean to brag on myself, so humble me if you need to. But like,
I know Jesus already tried that.
Jesus already tried. Lord, I was mortified by that.
Go ahead.
But
Inside
anyways,
jokes.
I have a somewhat quick wit, you know. I can think of some things real fast to say, but it's not like I'm just like the wittiest person there. But if somebody says something, I immediately have something to say that I think is funny.
You come out with pretty quick stuff sometimes.
I actually think because I was such good friends with you, like, I was not as quick-witted in, like, 10th grade, but then, like, just spending more time with you, I think I did pick up a little bit more of my quick-wittedness from you.
And I think that's where it comes from. Because it's not something that... I'm a slow thinker, all right? I'm not a quick person. I think it's just spending time around other quick-witted people is just like the reason, you became more quick-witted because you're around me. I became more quick-witted because I hung out with a bunch of old people who, you hang out with an old person.
That's true.
And they'll just hit you. They'll zip you, right?
It is. It's experience.
That's exactly what it is. So, it's not... But anyways, so I talk a lot. I have a somewhat... I can get them out there pretty quick. But that's just it. I just don't know when to shut up. That is 90% of why it's so funny.
All the listeners can tell.
Yeah. Believe me, I'm picking myself apart.
The game is 90% Buck and Quincy.
Can't help it. We dominate the dialogue a little bit.
Yeah.
But Thren's a quiet guy, Tyrel. What do we...
Tyrell's a quiet guy as well. Thren's a quiet guy.
Yeah.
I feel like Thren is Tyrel. I asked Tyrel the other day, I said, what if... He keeps saying, if Thren dies, this is what I'm going to make next.
Yes,
I'm like, what are you talking about if Thren dies? Characters. And I was like, do you not care if Thren dies? And he says, not really.
No, I didn't say that. I said it doesn't really matter. He's just a character, but I like playing that particular character, though.
I'm just attached to my characters. I can't.
Dude, when my first character, Orlac, died, I mourned him for a week.
It took him so long to come up with Carlo.
Calro.
Calro.
Or lack
Backwards.
Calro. Yeah, it's just reversed.
Oh.
I told all my friends at work about it. I was just like, dude, I played D&D again this weekend, and my character died. I need some time. And they were all like, okay, let's give him his space, guys.
It's very serious, and they understand.
Oh my gosh. I had people asking me.
He had a
about
death
it.
in his life.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm mourning something, guys. I had a creation, a part of me that I cannot access again.
Would you feel the same way with Buck at this
Oh
point?
yeah, at this point, definitely. See,
I don't know if we've ever had characters for this long, have we?
outside of
Not
that
this high
very
level.
first character,
This high level? I kill y'all a lot.
I mean, 11 games.
I think the highest we ever made it before was like third, maybe fourth level.
It's gonna get to a point where I can't kill y'all. Like, y'all are a pretty diverse group. When Tate starts taking cleric levels, it's just over. Something's done.
Yeah, something got done out there. Anywho, well, speaking of the campaign, we're
Speaking
already
of the
there.
campaign, this was a fun episode that I was very much looking forward to.
sure you were.
This is the kind of stuff Seth thinks is so fun.
I love storytelling, and this was a big time story.
Oh man, I mean, it
decision.
was nothing but we sat in a cage for like an hour, real life. Just sitting there like, well, Quince, what are we gonna do? You know, like.
I'm pretty sure Quincy is about to commit suicide.
That's what I said. I said I don't see any other way this is going to go except Quincy just kill himself.
He's just gonna.
And then we're gonna have to find the help phone line for suicide awareness
Yeah.
and stuff, and post that on there. So try not to.
Okay. Well, if you'll remember, and the listeners too, say it in common. Episode 1, we're talking about episode 1 of the campaign, and Seth says, "Yeah, I mean that was pretty dark. I don't think I'll probably go that dark again in this campaign. How about multiply it by 10 or 12 and then go
Really?
that dark?
I mean, no one. You don't know if anyone was injured.
You killed everybody.
Oh, okay, maybe.
Are they not?
I guess so.
You sent Trilug flying through the air off the end of that Giants Club. You
Yeah.
have to assume he's dead.
mangled, just hamburger meat.
I mean, we went to the glistening thicket and there's nobody there and it looks horrible and there's dead bodies. So
That's true.
all we can assume is that everybody's dead. Are they not?
And it's inhabited by monsters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was just something that was glistening thicket specific. Was the monsters?
Yeah, but that would be a really cool addition to the mythos. Is like
The Wendigo comes
I don't know,
where
do y'all think that there's some cannibals living in y'all's little home there, Hollyhead?
I don't know, but like what I was thinking of is like the nature of this area. The I don't know. Wendigos aren't technically nature, but like the creatures of this land have gotten so used to counting on this death and destruction being brought that they know when these three specific, like if you think of it like an animal, whenever I smell this certain smell, I know if I follow it, I'm going to find food.
Crows will follow armies because they know that there's going to be feasts afterwards.
Exactly. That'd be a cool addition to the mythos, but I would hate that for
I'll tell you
Hollyhead.
what, something I if you go back and listen to the very my opening spiel for the country, I have not done a very good job up to this point of conveying that just how bad the world is to this point. It's a bad place.
I feel
it's
like
dying is what the whole idea is, that this world is very old and it is on its last.
I feel like you conveyed that to us really well.
I don't know if I'm doing it in the story.
Yeah.
I don't know if listeners understand.
probably
that so
not,
much.
but see the thing, I feel like us being where we were from, we were kind of in a protective bubble.
Very much so, yeah.
we don't know anything
Like
else.
life
that's
is going as normal. So,
Yeah.
in my
we don't
close-
have any need to go anywhere. We're
Yeah.
just everything we need's right here. All of our family and friends. That's
In
just
my
what-
close to 30 years, nothing's changed too much. We follow the rules, keep our nose to the grindstone, everything's good.
Yep.
But
The world may be collapsing around us, but we're just in blissful ignorance. So,
Uh-huh.
kind of like living in Drasco.
Yeah. The writing for the story, is, well, not that it's written or anything, but where I'm bringing it all from, there's a lot of tie-ins to
Our area.
Yeah. And I told people, like, this is just, like, destroying Hollyhead is the same as destroying Jarasco to us four. Like,
Yeah.
it is, like, where we grew up. It's, like, our local little area.
Yeah.
And I just destroyed it in game.
So you're saying everybody's not necessarily dead.
You don't know.
The establishment is gone.
Hollyhead is gone.
The foundation is all that's left.
No, the foundation is there. We can rebuild.
Oh, never mind. That foundation's gone.
What's that from? Thor?
Thor Ragnarok.
Oh, yeah.
It can be a haven for all refugees of the galaxy. Oh, never mind. Foundation's gone.
Well, I was just so in shock in game. Just like, well,
It was so hard to get through it. I was laughing, and I didn't want to laugh because
Why-
it was
why
very
were
serious. Y'all's faces, like it was.
I mean, we're
So
just-
next
we have
week
to
on the
sit there and
Kilometers
watch
of D&D, be on the lookout for a supervillain named Seth in game, based in part on we won't say who, but certain real life people talking about destroying his hometown. Laughing at people's despair. Listen,
Who do you think I am? I'm
uh,
not getting it.
I'm thinking you got some Megamind vibes right now.
I don't know. what
He
this
turns out to be the hero, though. So you've not seen Megamind?
No.
Oh man, you love that movie.
What a great time that is! Yeah.
I was afraid. This is the moment though. Like I always told y'all, there's gonna be something that's probably gonna feel pretty railroady, and y'all had a chance to get away from it, but y'all didn't take
I mean,
it.
being locked in a cage and
Before that, like y'all did not.
Yeah.
well, yeah, I know.
Y'all could have
before that.
really ran right from the arena.
Yeah, I didn't want to go. I just wanted the money.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the thing. The money and
It's a lot of money.
yeah.
you got the money.
I mean,
You have it there in the cages with you.
Yeah, and then just it was the whole fight was tragic. We didn't kill who we wanted to kill.
so close.
The owlbear dies.
I was playing. I invited Darren and some other friends over to the 4th of July, and we was playing like trivia games on my PS4. And his name was Owlbear Slayer.
Oh my gosh, he's embraced it.
embraced it.
Oh no. That broke my heart when that happened.
Me too. Lots of bad stuff going on.
Yeah, it's like
Is this ever going to brighten back up?
that
I don't know.
that episode so far is our Reigns of Castamere. Game of Thrones Reigns of Castamere, That's it.
Y'all reference Game of Thrones. I've never watched a
I'm
single
gonna have to
episode.
watch it.
No.
It's so good.
I've never even watched Game of Thrones all the way through, and I know what the Reigns of Castamere is.
Yeah.
I thought
I
it was
have
really
watched
bad. I
it,
thought
and I've
the
read
ending
most
was
of the books,
terrible.
and I can't remember what the Reigns of Castamere is.
Reigns of Castamere.
Which
Spoiler
episode is
alert.
Yeah, I think they've either all watched it or don't care at this point.
Anyway,
It's never too late to jump
what
on the
season is
bandwagon.
it in? 2 or 3?
No, that I don't remember.
What happens? What's the big thing?
Ramsey Bolton. No, not Ramsey. His dad, Michael Bolton. The Bolton.
Luce Bolton?
I
No, I think that's really his name.
Bruce?
Luce.
I think it's
Bruce.
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 Bruce Bolton? Okay.
Yeah.
What is Luce Bolton? That is something.
Sounds like a joke.
That sounds
Loose Bolton.
Loose Bolton. It's Swedish for tighten that up.
I swear that's a name.
anyway, Bruce Bolton and what's his name? The old guy. I can't remember his name. Kills Catelyn Stark and Robb Stark at a feast.
Oh.
At a marriage feast.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or supposed
The
to be
Red
a marriage.
Wedding.
The red.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you just said Red Wedding, I'd have understood.
Sorry, I forgot that it was called that.
But they're playing the Reigns of Castamere, that song. On
And
the
that's
violins.
the Lannister song. It's, yeah. Anyways, that was segue. Darkest moment. Go.
No, what did you... Well, he finished yours.
Darkest moment?
Mhm.
I mean, had to be, watching our city get destroyed.
Okay. Okay, I will. Let's see. I will take that and I will raise you the hopelessness right beside Juniper Grove. We can see them.
You mean Hollyhead?
No, Juniper Grove. Juniper Grove when we were going past.
Oh yeah.
But didn't get close enough to him.
Yeah. And we see them and everything's going fine. And I mean we're just like, we can't get them involved. We're just gonna have to resign to our fate. And then the giant comes up and we find out what the plan is. For me, that was the darkest moment. Finding out that that's what was gonna happen.
I wasn't for sure that was going to happen. I was surprised when it started.
I think the giant got with y'all before that, and everyone was afraid that he was going to destroy Juniper Grove because he disappeared.
I didn't feel like it was Juniper Grove.
I remember Cameron for sure thought it was Juniper Grove.
Yeah. It's like, well, where would it be going if it's not Juniper Grove? Well, I don't know.
What's beyond that?
No, I was actually surprised that he was destroying Hollyhead directly in front of us. I was kind of surprised by that. I didn't see that one coming.
Which, by the way, I've got to say, I take personal responsibility for the daddy joke being the cause of this. Like first off,
That is true.
I don't know if that had something to do with
Were
it.
you going to do it anyway, though?
I don't know. I don't know. Like,
So
I had
we
thought about
agitated
it,
him.
but he agitated him big time. Him and Kyle. They were some major agitators in that.
well, that's
manner.
the thing. Like first off, I thought the whole spanking thing was a big joke. I wasn't going to take it serious, So I was like, oh yeah, here's this big serious Russian dude. He's going to spank me. That's a joke. And then it started happening, and I thought it was the most hilarious thing. And the one thing that I thought of was like, that's my kink. He didn't, but I guess he might have. I don't know if he did or he had his.
Oh, you were physically spanked? I don't remember
I was
that.
physically spanked.
I think they did hit him, but yeah.
I don't know if it was like on your bottom. I think they were just beating you.
Yeah.
He said spank. I thought you said spank.
Well, he did. Hornbeam did, just as a like.
Yeah, I think he was like playing off of you.
Yeah.
But no, I took it as you got pummeled.
I took it as somebody bent me over their knee.
Definitely not.
And that's why I was like,
Way more aggressive.
No, way more aggressive than that.
Spank me hard to Daddy Hornbeam. Oh
Terrible.
my gosh, dude.
Terrible.
Oh, wow. See, that changes it. See, when it becomes intense, interrogations like that, it's completely different than spanking.
What do y'all think of the collars?
Railroad 1.0, followed by Railroad 2.0 in a cage.
The anti-magic collar is a pretty cool idea. Yeah. I thought about doing that with one of those one-shots I did with like anti-magic gauntlets. Yeah.
So, did you make those up?
I kind of got the idea for that from Wheel of Time that I'm reading right now. There's like this magical... Women can have certain magical powers, and then they have these collars that they put on them, and they can either feel the powers, or they can suppress them, or they can just control people with them. But I just decided to do just an anti-magic thing. There's anti-magic like candles and stuff, and one of these days y'all will find out who created these. Like, it all fits within the world pretty nicely, I think.
Oh, okay. Well, I figured something like that was coming. They can't just have us at full power sitting at the dinner table with them. So,
right.
that was a cool idea.
I think the darkest moment for myself was Solaris not showing up.
Oh yeah, he didn't. He never did he?
Yeah.
I wonder why that was. Was he just a big coward?
Could have been killed. They could have took
Is
him
he
out
dead?
first.
Was he somewhere else?
Some things I can't tell.
He's got to be still alive.
Maybe.
Him and Evelyn have to come final boss battle. The old
White
timers
Lotus.
show up and just go nuts.
They're
They're
gonna be
the
White
actual
Lotus.
bad guys the whole time. They're the ones pulling the strings. It's Solaris and Evelyn.
I hope not.
Guaranteed.
Better not be.
I just gave a spoiler.
No, you didn't. That's not true.
Okay, but like in the very beginning, like y'all could have ran off. Like y'all didn't really have to go. I was trying to push y'all because I want the story to go there. Like obviously, like this is where I wanted. Like this is really like when I wrote this out when I was planning the game. This was going to be episode 2.
Really?
Yes, this was always how I was going to go if I had my way. Like this is going.
I'm
just
glad
as
it
planned.
didn't. It was cool to build it up to it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was nice that we started at level 0
Yeah.
instead of level 5. But yeah,
Made it way
otherwise-
more interesting.
It get like for sure, and it's a much more of a like now like because we destroyed the town, it is a like a hit on y'all. Whereas if it's episode 2, who cares? You know.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
And I probably wouldn't have destroyed the town because it wouldn't have mattered anything. You know, it would have just been it would have been like going from the fair to the tournament to now you're captured because you won, which I think is just messed up in itself. Like that's like you do well and you're sudden and but he did give you the option. You could have like oh yeah, let's go join, but y'all know things about the world. And
Yeah.
y'all know
We
like,
know too much.
If that hadn't, like, when Rask started, like, letting it out, like, you know, Silent Brother this and all, I can't remember the exact everything.
That
he
was
said.
great role play by him. I felt
It
like.
was, but
'Cause he's the-
I was just like sitting over here, like, what are you doing? You're letting them know that we know.
But you know what? I really love that from his character too,
Yeah.
because he's part of the secret society that's working against everything, and like he's a hothead, and he just spills it out like, "You're not fooling us, we know," and
Yeah.
to his detriment, but it worked out really good. Things I did not expect Darren to try to run away. Didn't expect that at all.
If there was a window. Okay, you said there was a bunch of guys at the door and everything. What if Rask could have fist of four thundered those guys? But I guess he was out. I used all of his key points in the melee.
That's why they did it then too. It's strategic. I mean,
But they could have
we're
made
tapped
the
out.
save and it wouldn't have mattered. But
All
yeah,
we,
that
all
would
we
have been our
need
window.
is like one guy move.
And I'll
one
tell you
guy
something
move
else I
down.
did not expect is y'all talking to the giant. Y'all almost convinced him to let y'all out. It was scary close.
Really?
Yeah.
We could have convinced him.
Yep. I don't remember what they rolled, but it was just a few points
Is
too
his
low.
intelligence like that?
He's
low?
very stupid, yes. Of the three giants, he's the stupidest.
Is he that one right there?
Yes, he is the male. And then there's a female.
What was
that
her
is
name?
his
What did he
sister.
call her?
Mama Lumari.
Is that
That's
her?
the mother. That's that one right there. We have a crown for her, actually. Yeah.
The one with the spear?
Yeah. Oh, and there is the other one.
That's the daughter.
That's the daughter. Yeah. Which those are all based, I don't know if I ever said, they're like statues in the Bernheim Forest.
The real Bernheim Forest?
I think so. Maybe not. I don't remember. But I think so. I think I Googled Bernheim Forest to find out what kind of trees or something was in it, and I found out, hey, there's these giants that some artist created. And
Is that not pretty crazy?
Where's the Bernheim Forest? Why can't,
in England. Let me look it
why
up.
can't I?
No, we can talk while I Google something.
Okay, how much can we know about the Academy? Because I'm trying to think future plans now. How the heck is this going to play out? Also, okay, say somebody else had won the melee. Would they have been treated the same way, or would they just been given a sack of gold?
They would have been treated the same way.
So he doesn't know enough about us, like
Right, no. He did not know. He was listening at the door. Like, y'all actually let slip that his son was there talking, and he was listening in.
Right.
Which was,
Okay.
it turns out was really interesting, but that was kind of silly on y'all's part to say his name.
Yeah.
I keep it's probably. I'm sure it was me. I do it all the time.
I think it was you.
I screw it up all the time. But like I didn't know if he just saw. I didn't think if he or was wondering if he saw something extra in us or like knows
Y'all are
what
impressive.
we did or like.
Yeah.
Why are we impressive? We're
Y'all are
still
level-
nobodies.
No, you're level 5 or 4.
I don't feel like we've done
Y'all are
enough
powerful.
to be
Like-
Oh,
powerful.
that's the thing. Like,
Y'all were at level 0. Y'all were actually higher above normal people.
yeah, like right now.
Like y'all
we
were
are-
more impressive normal people than normal people. So y'all are far and above.
We're like SEAL Team 6 right now.
No, we're not.
You're like cadets right out of
Academy.
the academy right now. Not that academy. Like
Right,
in
yeah.
military wise, I wouldn't say you're on until Team 6. So like, I think that's a little bit further up. But yeah, Bernheim Forest. Yep, that's a real place. And I think that it has
Fun fact for you.
it has these giants, Mama Lumari, and then
That's what it's called?
the mother. Yes.
Oh, wow.
The mother giant. His name is Mama Lumari, and then it has 2 children too, and I can't remember their name.
You know, you could say Seth is just being lazy and just finding stuff on Google, but at the same time, it's actually really cool. Like that's your way of being creative.
Yeah.
And
I'm
it's
trying
pretty
to
neat.
make real life things into the game.
Yeah, just pulling in people's names from books, pulling in stuff from real life. That's pretty neat.
Mm-hmm.
Good idea.
Thank you. Trying. You also called me lazy. It was kind of an underhanded compliment.
No,
there.
I wasn't saying that you were lazy. Like if somebody that was looking at it shallower would say, "Oh, well, he's just looking stuff
I could
up."
be just completely ripping off Critical Role, like just episode by episode.
That would be really bad. No, I think we got something pretty original going here. Okay, Academy. Does anybody else have anything they want to say? I feel like I'm talking the whole time. I'm asking all the questions.
Listen,
Okay.
you're hosting this thing.
No, I'm not. The
The
Academy.
host with the toast. I mean, most.
Okay, I don't want to reveal anything about.
You two
about
aren't going to
Quincy.
be here, so I will talk a little bit about the Academy, because I'll give a little sneak peek about some of the Academy if you want.
Yeah, do it.
Okay,
all
well,
about
ask
it.
questions.
Oh, me ask questions? Okay, yeah, because me and Tyrel will not be there for episode.
Yep.
Anyway, okay.
I should have kept going. I should have got y'all to the Academy. If I'd have known our scheduling would have been so hectic after that game, I'd have pushed on and got y'all to the place, and then I could have actually split up the party like I'd always planned. But I didn't, because
It's going to split up anyway, though.
So, like,
What do we learn? How do we? Is it school? Are we going to sit? Is it like Hogwarts? Is it like?
The Academy is absolutely nothing but a prison. It
Okay.
is a prison, hardcore reform prison.
So what it is it's like it's posing as like a school, and actually it's people once they get in there.
People can volunteer, and they are not treated as bad. Like I actually gave the creation of the Academy completely over to Dustin.
Really?
Yes.
Sweet.
He found a map and then edited a map, and I sent a little clip of it showing y'all. I was like,
yeah, just a little blacked out part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, redacted.
Oh yeah, I saw it.
so he has created a whole hierarchy of jailers inside of the Academy.
Dude, that sounds like a creative dream.
Here is the full map of the Academy.
Dude,
You can zoom in.
What did he create that on?
He didn't create the map.
Okay,
He found
he didn't
the
create
map.
the
Someone
map.
else created the map. But he's got different areas. and
That's
stuff.
awesome.
Yeah, it's a very nice map.
that is awesome. See, to me, whenever I think of the Academy, and I don't know if this is your intention with it or not, and I mean, I'm sure whatever you come up with is actually going to be better. I think of it kind of in the whole, referencing Star Wars, kind of. You got these people. You got a glimpse of it in Solo, the movie Solo, which I won't get into that. Where you kind of got people in it that don't want to be in it. I'm trying to think of what else. Star Wars Rebels, where you've got all these teams of people competing against one another, and trying to be the top dog. And it's
The Academy is kind of like that. Yeah, there's different cell blocks that has different. So there's 4 different jailers. That's not really what we're calling them. Wardens. We're calling them wardens. There's 4 different wardens, and Dustin is one of those wardens.
Oh,
People thinking he's going to be on your side. He is not on your side.
great.
He's going to be the warden over y'all's block. They are going to be in.
His creative mind when it comes to playing is...
He has created 4 different character sheets for the 4 different wardens.
I'm sure... see, That is a dream.
Yeah. Like,
See, for him, it's like for people who don't know, Dustin, we were playing this one campaign, and it started out we were on a ship. Okay, the first thing he does is he could summon animals.
he was a druid.
Yeah,
Wasn't he a druid?
Yeah, he was
something
a
like that. So he summons 12 of these massive lizards and commands them to start jumping up and down on one side of this ship so that it'll capsize.
Yep.
Like, in my brain, what I wanted to immediately start doing is running the calculations, like, what's the buoyancy of this type of ship?
Yep.
How much weight would it take to capsize?
I used to play with him. We had our DM that we both were in the same campaign online, and our DM loved to bring in flying creatures or flying enemies, and that was always a pain because none of us really could fly. I think like our warlock started taking flying spells so she could chase after stuff, but like Dustin took this so seriously. He got like the mathematical equation to figure out how far away someone was, like if they were 20 feet over and then 70 foot up. So
The
just
hypotenuse.
The hypotenuse. Because he wanted to know exactly how close he was and if he could actually hit him with spells and stuff, because on all the ranges and everything. He takes it super serious. But you guys will be in his character's block. Let me look up his character's name.
And he's just going to be in this one episode?
He's probably going to come a couple times.
Yes. I didn't want to miss that. I mean, it's so sad.
Yeah, he's going to come a couple times, I think. He lives about as far away as Cameron, so
Yeah.
he can
Maybe a little bit further.
maybe a little further.
Is it Forest City?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
His name is Aradil, I think. And he is the warden over y'all, and he is in charge of breaking you down.
He's going to beat the crap out of us.
Sometimes.
Psychologically, he's going to absolutely torment us.
Yeah, there is I already said you two are going to just be separated from the group and took to interrogation.
So everybody else is going to be together.
Yeah, y'all.
Are you going to do an episode with just me and Tyrel?
I mean,
No, I think what is I'll cut to you guys when we play next
Right.
and like go over what happened to you guys.
I was just thinking, is he still doing the class he was intending to do?
I don't know if he didn't tell y'all, did he?
Well, he did say he was thinking about doing the.
Yeah, he went. He wasn't supposed to tell you all that.
Oh.
Forget that.
Tyrell knows the questions to ask. Though. That's
Tyrell
the
knows
thing.
everything.
Yeah.
I
do
can't get
not
anything
know.
over Tyrell.
No.
Create my own monsters and my own character
I don't
sheets.
even know
and
what
Tyrell
it
everything
is.
about it. It's a build.
Oh,
It's out of the new book.
right. Tyrell told me about it once, but there's too much.
But so yeah, he's gonna set y'all up against like different creatures that y'all are supposed to fight and be killed by, and y'all's gonna have to fight each other. Maybe y'all's gonna fight other cell blocks. There's gonna be a lot of fighting and a lot of just like waterboarding, dark therapy rooms, torture. Yeah,
Dude, this is going to be a hard
To
thing.
try to turn us into...
they're trying to
Black cloaks.
Yep, they're trying to rewire your brain.
This is going to be a hard thing to become a cleric in.
It is.
No, you
'Cause
got
this
to
is-
cling to your God.
This is exactly where I turned. But I don't know if you guys remember hearing. I mean, you guys didn't hear it. Your characters didn't. But I mean, sidebar, we all did. Tira had, come to me right before we had gone on this long trip while I was locked away and had said, you're going to a place where you're going to be separated from me. Like, I'm not going to be able to contact you.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Is that exactly what she said?
That's not exactly what she
Didn't
said.
she said you were being shielded from her at that moment?
Yeah.
kind of? Yeah.
Yeah. And
Is that Session 0 stuff?
No.
no.
This is last episode.
Last episode. Like, basically, and this could be
He had a
another...
drink. Well,
I didn't even realize.
And this could be another miscommunication. This could be another time where I just heard what I wanted to hear and didn't hear the whole thing. But what I took it as is, she sees where I'm going, but isn't going to be able to see what happens there because it's like shielded, basically. But it could be. I don't know. It's going to be
I
rough.
don't know how we're not all going to come out as Black Cloaks. We're not mentally strong enough for this.
you're stronger than most normal people already.
How do we escape with our tongues?
I don't know. Well, tongues get
strong.
cut off as part of graduation. That's almost similar to Game of Thrones. The warrior men, they have their genitals cut off as a part of graduation.
Why can't I remember what they're called?
We got to bust out of this place.
Grey worm.
Grey Worm, yeah.
What was he?
Those people. I don't know. But yeah, as the graduation, these, in a way of not talking back, and a way of not being able to, like, voice concerns or anything, removing the tongue.
It's a power move, dude.
It is definitely a power move.
This is scary. You created all this. That's pretty clever. Tyrel, Quincy, and Thren, we got to bust out of this place.
Somehow.
So your bird is locked up in its egg, right?
Yeah, that's an egg.
And they took it from it. No, it's not an egg form anymore. It should be alive and well.
I think we'll probably just say it's an egg form because we forgot about it.
Well, maybe they
you
knocked
said
it out.
last time it was
Yeah.
Maybe they knocked it out.
Yeah. You have the egg. It's not been taken.
You
from
should have
you.
had it in the melee, and you never used it. So.
Yeah.
That is true. I always forget to use it.
Try to give you this cool thing, and you just don't even use it. You just don't care.
It's because his mini didn't have a bird on his shoulder. Now he does.
Now he'll remember. I am so looking forward to where this game goes. Like, I didn't know how many sessions we'd be at the academy with the amount of Dustin has created. We're gonna be there a while now.
Good.
We're gonna be there a while. I was gonna get to be settled down into something for a little bit of time here.
What are you doing?
There's an empty water bottle that he's interested in.
I stick the minis to the top of it with that goo, and then I can paint them without touching them.
Okay. I was wondering what that was.
Am I boring you? You just had to get up and...
No, he just saw something that interested him. What was that?
A rock.
Hey, it's fine. We got some.
Tate's always destroying things.
We've got like a marker
AJ's
that colors
floor.
that in.
Oh, I have one of
My
those, too.
bicycle.
7 years old.
21 years ago. Good Lord, we're old.
Ah, we moving on? Or you got more?
Are you have any more things you want to ask about the academy real quick? I can give you a little bit of sneak peek since y'all are going to be here.
Tyrel.
Tate's just getting the lucky sit in here.
Yeah.
It's going to be bad. The academy's going to be bad, I think.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, it's absolutely.
One bad thing straight to the next.
I'm sure we don't know who's in charge of the academy, right?
You do not. No.
Oh, so there's like
Who's
a
the Warden
headmaster.
Supreme?
There is a Warden Supreme.
Oh, is that the name?
No.
Can it be now?
It
That
should
I
be
said
now.
it?
Yeah, maybe. The Warden Supreme. But
I like that.
like I just kind of I think that like we're gonna have a good time at this jail. It's gonna be
You will, because you like
fun.
hurting us.
Y'all are gonna have a chance to really put a hurt on the academy, I think, and I think y'all are gonna get a chance to put a hurt on the Empire with it being here. I think it's gonna be fun.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's gonna happen like right after he takes a warhammer to our
Kneecaps.
I mean, I was gonna go a little bit north of that, but yeah, totally.
I'm gonna break y'all's kneecaps, and then y'all's gonna stay there for 3 years to like heal properly. They're just gonna keep breaking it, and y'all's gonna be completely indoctrinated. And we're starting a new game, and y'all are the bad guys. That's what the whole plan was.
Nice. We're gonna be flunkies.
Yep.
The whole campaign after this point is gonna be
What have you guys ever thought? What if y'all are the bad guys in this story?
in this story. I mean,
How could we possibly be the bad guys in this story?
I'm hearing voices, man.
Okay, well,
So does Cameron.
the morality of us, I think, is obvious. We don't cut people.
Sure.
We're against the guy that cuts people's tongues out, indoctrinates them, and makes them be his soldiers.
I mean, unless
And
those
took
people
away all
are
gods.
dangerous to the Empire.
Okay, well, the Empire's bad.
I mean, from our point of view.
Okay, well, you know what? That's how uprisings start.
That's a moral quandary to bat around.
That's exactly what I want this game to be. Just a moral quandary.
I started to say, Anthony, like your character goes so dark that he actually goes into the death domain instead of
You've thought about doing that domain, haven't you?
Grave.
grave domain.
You do not have to take your dream graveyard literal in that.
Yeah, I
sense.
know. I just thought it might be neat. You know, I like to do.
That's just how I thought. Like it'll be interesting to convey the dead gods or the dying gods, the lost gods. There in a graveyard.
Sixth level cleric, grave domain. With that.
Well, I won't be a 6th level cleric. I'll be a 1st level.
Let me tell you, Tyrel knows how to make your character better than you do.
Now I know.
No, I'm just saying. Like, if you went all the way to 6th level with that cleric, I think it's 6th level. You get that ability where you, like, if an enemy scores a critical hit on a person within 30 feet of you, you can cancel out the critical hit and they just take, like, normal damage.
I mean, that's pretty swift.
Oh yeah, Caduceus has that.
Yeah.
I'll also tell y'all, like, these wardens are decked out.
Are they higher level than we are?
A little bit.
But they have, like...
They have some stuff.
So, like, we kill them, we get good stuff.
Yeah, maybe.
We knock them out. I shouldn't say...
Oh, they
kill.
have cool stuff.
They have cool stuff.
Well, we can't just start wasting the wardens.
Well,
They'll kill
Buck
us.
doesn't even want to waste wardens either. That's the thing.
Oh,
is-
Quincy liked to.
I mean, I think... And that's the thing. Also, after this, the effects of this campaign, of this particular part of the campaign, I think it's going to take a toll on Buck. He's not going to be... I want Buck to value the sanctity of life and be this positive force. You know what I mean? Yeah. But like seeing this, that's gonna take that's definitely gonna.
I will tell y'all this. I think that once y'all get away from the academy, if y'all live it, I think that it will be a happier game after that. Like I think
We got to change the world.
and that's kind of what I am trying to push y'all to want to do that, because like before this, did y'all really care? Even like hearing all the bad stuff about how it all started or where it all was going or whatever,
No, it's
I don't
personal
think
now.
y'all cared. Now it's personal, and that's kind of what I wanted to do. Like I this is the first time I've ever homebrewed a game, you know, so I'm doing this kind of in a writer's mentality. Like I had to give y'all backstories, and instead of just doing it like telling it, we've kind of showed it,
Created it.
created it. Yeah,
Yeah. What a great game. Start at level 0.
yeah.
That's the way to go.
Yeah. Be your backstory. Play your backstory.
Yeah, I think it's really fun that way.
Yeah.
I think we're about done talking about the campaign now, aren't we?
Yeah.
Sure. Moving on.
Moving on.
And Mark.
Okay, I can do a quick movie minute if nobody else has a movie minute. Y'all ever watch Days of Thunder?
I've heard of it. Is that based off of
NASCAR movie? Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise? That's it.
So good. I saw an article about it on ESPN where they were talking about how it kind of changed NASCAR and movie making. Like, this is like a revolutionary movie. You don't need to watch it. It's just a pretty good movie. It's people talk about how it was a little bit corny. It's a little bit corny, but I read the whole article because it was so interesting, and it was about how, like, the director or the producers or whoever, which I can't. It was I can't remember. I'll say it wrong if I start trying to say them. Anyway, it's two guys that you know that have done movies for a long time. Mm-hmm. Basically, we're given free reign contract to do 5 movies, so they just did whatever they want. Well, Tom Cruise got with them saying he wanted to do a NASCAR movie because he was real into driving sports cars.
How long ago was
at the
this?
time. It came out in 90, I think, or 91.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Tom Cruise real big right then. Rain Man.
Was he in Jerry Maguire?
Yeah. Anyway, he was big at the time. It was right in his big swing. So anyway, he was driving a lot of sports cars. They said, and so he went to a track with some people, and they let him drive a NASCAR. And he said, I want to make a movie about this. This is so cool driving these things. So he ended up going like with producers to some NASCAR races, and incognito, so nobody knew who he was. And they were watching the races. Everything was great. They go. Then they decide they're going to make this movie. They start writing and stuff. Well, they go just like hang out in the pit areas and stuff. It just like one of the producers had a microphone clipped to his hat and just recording the lingo and people talking about stuff and the way, just everything goes. Mm-hmm. And just hanging out with people and listening to their stories. So a lot of the stuff that happens in the movie is just little funny stuff or like based off of people's stories, stuff that actually happened. Mm-hmm. Just a great movie. And also they're still to this day using... He built this car to film the racing, because car chase scenes at the time weren't ever filmed this way before, because he said when the cars that they would use, like you sat up too high, you couldn't get the camera low enough to get these super cool angles or whatever. They built something in like an El Camino to get the camera lower, and supposedly the filmography is like revolutionary of its time. And I mean, it is really good, but now I'll look at it and I'm like, well, yeah, it doesn't look like anything better than what we watch now, but at the time it was super different and super good.
Yeah.
It's just great. It's filmed well. The script is good. It's got some funny stuff in it. It's got good characters. It's got Nicole Kidman in it. Nicole Kidman and Tom Cruise, that's where they met before they got married. It was in that movie. I didn't know she wasn't American.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
I didn't know that. Is she
Australian, isn't she?
Yeah,
Wait,
I
is she-
believe so.
is she married to Keith Urban now?
She definitely is.
Interesting. Anyway, yeah. They met in that movie.
They're in another movie together.
There was some other people. There was another couple that
Nicole
got married
Kidman
after
and-
that movie too. I can't remember who it was. It was one of the other characters. But what's his name from Step Brothers is in it.
Which one?
Not Will Ferrell. Never can think of
Oh,
his
John
name.
C. Reilly.
Yeah, it was like one of his first big movies. There was some others in it. It's just a good movie. Y'all just need to go watch it. It's on the Roku channel for free if y'all have Roku.
I do.
Go watch it. It's a good movie.
I can't wait to see Tenet. I want to watch Tenet real bad.
Tenet?
Yeah.
What is that?
It's the next Christopher Nolan movie. Like, it's coming out. Like, they're just waiting for COVID to
Oh, okay.
finish up.
We'll
so
go
they
watch
can-
it at the theaters.
Yeah, they're wanting to put it in theaters.
So I watched that, and now I really want to drive a NASCAR, and I want to play whatever NASCAR game comes out of the next console. I will own.
I think Forzas are always the big racing games.
Yeah, but it's not
Forza-
NASCAR though.
You want just turning
I want
left?
NASCAR, yes.
Isn't Forza?
Okay.
Forza is Xbox exclusive, if I'm not mistaken.
All right, what's the
Um,
Grand?
Gran Turismo.
Gran Turismo. I would buy the new Gran Turismo game if
Oh,
it comes out.
man.
They showed it
that
on the
looks
PS5.
smooth.
I love
thing,
Gran
yeah.
Turismo.
That looks immersive.
I played
It
1 and
looks
2
juicy.
back in the day.
Don't care about
1 and 2
racing
back in the day when I was little. All I played was racing games when I was young.
My cousin played one of the Gran Turismos on PS2, and he was telling me about one race that's always stuck out of my mind. Every time I think of Gran Turismo, I think about the 24-hour race.
Oh, Le
Where
Mans.
in real life, you have to spend 24 hours.
Oh, they actually make you do it for the game?
Have you not seen that movie?
Huh.
It's a Christian Bale movie, talking about that race.
Yeah, the
24
Le
hours.
Mans,
Yeah.
24 hours, yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's like
Or Le Mans, whatever it is.
that's a new movie actually, like not very old.
But I watched that movie, got super into NASCAR stuff, went and was just watching like big highlights and stuff, and I watched like best saves and stuff where people had spun out and regained control, just crazy stuff like that, and watched like the best finishes and watched them. I mean, when they get down going for the finish line, just banging into each other and
oh
stuff.
my gosh, dude.
Ford versus Ferrari.
Oh yeah, that
versus
movie.
Ferrari.
Yeah,
Very good movie.
haven't seen that yet. But just all the different drafting and stuff, it's crazy. All the cars go the same dang speed. They have to figure out a way to go faster than each other.
Yeah.
And it's not just about who's taking the best line and shifting gears right. It's like who's drafting and they
I knew
push
that from
each other.
Talladega Nights.
Yeah, I knew that stuff too,
Yeah.
but it's so in depth and
Slingshot.
so cool.
Engaged.
It's really cool. Anyway, I encourage everybody to go watch NASCAR stuff. Just watch not a whole. It's hard to watch a whole race, but just go watch some highlights.
That's kind of a hot topic right now, too, NASCAR.
Why?
Oh, because the Confederate flag.
No. Well, I mean, that and Bubba Wallace.
Oh yeah.
Hey, they said that he had nothing to do with that. That was
Bubba Wallace had nothing to do with it.
yeah. That he didn't even see it. That it was
Right. It was the NASCAR chairman who
Yeah.
that they had said had found it and reported it.
It was stupid. If like
I thought it was.
And
I
this
thought
has
it was
been your
stupid.
politic minute. Let's go ahead.
I do not follow NASCAR.
I don't follow it either. I used to follow it back in the day. I used to love it when I was little. Okay. Anyway, moving on. Another thing I watched that you told me to watch, the Dude Perfect documentary. Best hour and a half I've ever spent in my life.
Great
I
documentary.
laid right here in my bed on my phone and watched it.
Me too.
And was amazed.
Yep.
And about in tears half the time.
Why's that?
They're good dudes. They're just
They're just
amazing
genuinely
men.
great people, and they have worked their butts off to get where they are, and they live possibly the best life out of it. If I would say if somebody asked me who is living possibly the best life ever, I would say anybody in Dude Perfect.
Like, when you say that, what do you mean?
I mean,
The best
is
life,
it-
like...
they get to have fun for a living.
Okay. Living off, like, the the fat of the land, basically.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean they get, and they're great influences on kids. They don't have any kind of crude
Nothing
content
negative.
at all. They don't even take sponsorships from like beer companies and stuff like that. They just, because they know kids watch
Nerf.
their stuff. Yeah,
And-
Nerf and PUBG, and they have done multiple airsoft battle royales.
They look
Legit.
awesome, too. It looks like they're riding Rust.
Yes,
It looks like they're riding Rust.
Modern Warfare 2 Rust. That's
Yeah.
where it looks like they are. And they play with balloons, and there's literally, I mean, high quality airsoft guns in crates out there, just like they would be on PUBG or what's the other game?
Fortnite.
Now, did they do a Fortnite one?
I don't know.
No, it was it's that other one. What's that other game?
It's a battle royale. Apex Legends.
Apex Legends. Yeah, that was one they did sponsored by. But yeah, there's so many cameras. Whoever edits that stuff is amazing. But just hearing how I mean, they used to do all that crap themselves, and just the day they decided we're going to do this,
They quit their jobs.
they quit their jobs.
They got big enough that they was like, all right, if we're going to keep doing this, we're going to have to actually do it.
Well,
And
the guy,
they had wives and families, and their wives were able to say, yeah, y'all can quit y'all's job, take this risk.
and now they did like an American live show tour. Like how do you turn that into that? It's insane. They've done so much.
People just will go and watch them try to make 3-point shots, and you
Yeah.
know you could miss every single one of them. But I guess
Yeah.
after a while you get good enough.
I
to
think
not.
they're actually pretty good at what.
Oh yeah, they have to be.
I mean, the tall guy, is it Cody? Yeah,
Cody.
Cody made it from half court or past half court blindfolded on the first try
Insane.
when they were doing their world record video.
That documentary is so good.
But one of the twins had a video from back before they were, I mean, super big, where he had been editing for so long, and in lack of sleep and staring at a screen for so long, half of his face was paralyzed.
Like to this day, or just then?
No,
Oh, okay.
just at that time. Yeah, it was
Oh.
some kind of paralysis in his face from grinding. Just a great documentary.
I knew you'd love that.
I was
Does
so
it scare
fired
you?
up.
Do you like? Are we gonna get big enough that we have to try to make these decisions, or no?
No,
Never gonna
I don't
happen.
think that'll ever happen. I think we're a little too niche. Yeah. Nobody gets that big off of YouTube.
It was a
phenomenal.
blessing for them, and
I
think
agree.
that they're really making the most out of it.
I mean, it's too big.
Yeah.
They're one of the biggest things
Can't
on
be stopped.
on YouTube. Yeah,
Can't be
they've
stopped.
got like 50 million subscribers. I don't know. I mean, do people have more than that? I guess probably.
I'm
Oh
sure.
yeah, definitely, man.
PewDiePie, I think, is the largest.
Well, he's an idiot. He made a living off being an idiot, not putting out cool stuff.
I think he's kind of stepped away from YouTube.
Has
as
he?
of late?
Twitching.
Not really. I think he's just kind of gone away.
I think
I know he just did a whole Last of Us thing.
Yeah, I
Last
seen
of Us
that. But I'm just saying, like, he came back for that though. Like,
I think
he's
the
been
only thing I've ever
gone away.
watched of his, he did like an escape room in a mental hospital or something. And
Mostly he plays video games.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it was he's kind of funny. But anyway, yeah, Dude Perfect. Go watch the documentary. Best hour and a half you'll ever spend.
Hamilton is on Disney Plus now, and I gotta watch it.
What's
How do you too?
The
Broadway play?
The Broadway play.
No, it's supposed to be amazing.
That's all we're gonna say about that. I'm just kidding.
I can't wait. I want to watch it so
I want to
bad.
see it too.
Do you play D&D? Did you start D&D because you acted in that play in high school?
No. No.
That's the trope. Is
That's
theater
weird.
kids?
No, I feel like.
Theater kids play D&D.
Were you in that play?
No, I wasn't in any play in high school.
You weren't in the play? How were you
It was
not in
pretty
that
good.
play?
I feel
Wait,
my
which play?
The play that we were in, me?
from Miss Holiday's
The
class.
Western
Yeah, Miss-
one? No, I wasn't in
No.
that.
Was it? It wasn't
The
Western.
Roy-
Was it Western?
It was
No.
Western.
No, it wasn't. It was like fantasy. There was a king.
Yeah.
And-
oh, that's right. Kendall played a
Cowgirl.
Cowgirl. That's the
You
Western.
do
part.
that with any other group of people, it's not good. There was nobody in school when I was
We had a perfect. It was a perfect group of people.
Y'all were just like a bunch of outgoing people that was cool.
I was not so outgoing. Like before.
That's why I was asking.
think
I
that
feel like you
definitely-
found it there. Like you're
I mean,
good
it
at
changed
acting.
your sister's life.
Yeah,
Your sister absolutely just went to college to be
Yes.
an actor because of that play.
and now lives in New York.
Yep.
trying to
Did
be.
you
an
ever
actress.
find out about the D&D video?
No, I don't talk to her.
What is it?
She was in some short film about D&D or something. I don't know what exactly it was.
We need to watch it and like put it out there.
I don't know if it's out there. I'll ask her. I will ask her about it. Yeah, I think she got. I mean, yeah, I know she got in it, but she was texting me and she said, "Hey, I'm going to do this audition for a short film that is based on D&D or something." I was like, "That's hilarious!" And she had just played D&D here with me.
Yeah.
And for the first time.
That play it changed a lot of our lives. I think. Like, I don't know. It was something special to me.
Yeah, well, at the time I thought it was really good. I mean, maybe just because
11th grade was
young,
probably one of the best years of my life because of that play. Like,
just made a lot of friends.
it was good.
I'll
Yeah,
straight up.
a lot of older friends too. Like everyone, most of the people was in the grade above us. Like, your
Yeah.
sister's grade. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll say like
I can't believe you weren't in that.
Yeah,
Like,
why
I
were
can't-
you not in it? That's
I was-
your
I wasn't
thing.
You
in
weren't in
that
that
class.
class. Yeah.
I wasn't in that class.
It seemed like I was thinking it was more than just people.
Was
in
that the
class.
year we had Mr. Pirate, or was that senior year?
Nope, that was the same year. Nope, that might have been
It's
senior
senior year.
Senior year. Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. Is like, 11th grade was like his best year. 11th grade was my down year.
Really?
Like I got
That's sad.
I got out of sports. I got out of everything, and I just didn't want to do anything. It was just
You got out of sports?
Mhm.
I thought you played till you were a senior.
No, he
I
was
played-
the manager.
No, I was a manager once, senior. 10th grade, I stopped playing ball, and
I remember sitting there and watching you shoot a 3 from the corner and make it when you went in at the end of a game.
10th grade.
It was 10th grade? I thought you were older than that. I thought it must have been when you
I
were
wish
a
I'd
senior.
never quit basketball.
It was legendary.
Small town schools, basketball is the thing, you know.
Yeah, and it's kind of a lot of pressure. Like, have you like those football movies about teenagers? Like, they have a lot of pressure. It was a lot of pressure. Like, if you're not good,
You
then,
felt it, yeah. You felt the pressure. No matter how big your school is, whatever the dominant sport
Yeah.
is, you feel like you're carrying on a legacy.
Running and puking on the court was too embarrassing for me, and I quit.
For me, it was like, I mean, I couldn't keep my grades up because I was not there for school. It wasn't my thing, you know. I graduated, thank God, and I went to a little bit of college, but like, Lord, that
I
was
never knew you had any trouble in high school.
Oh
I
man,
thought you were
I
fairly up there.
No, I was. If you were to look at my grades on like a line graph, it would be like it would look
Like a roller coaster.
It would look like the Andes. Just, you know, just all over the place. And then like I finally my grade dipped too low and I couldn't be on the ball team, and I was just like, yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Plus, I'm third string on a 2-string team, you know.
Well, your team was really good.
Yeah, I feel like they were. But
Were
I mean,
they?
I wasn't adding to it.
I don't remember that.
We made it to senior year. We made it to state. We
Second-
didn't.
second
Chase, I
round.
guess. Chase and Tim were good. I saw Tim the other day at the fireworks stand.
Hey, if y'all don't draw Bay second round of that, I feel like you probably make it to the third round. That was just a bad matchup.
Bay is always good.
Bad matchup for y'all, and y'all hung with them till like the end of the third quarter. They pulled away a little bit.
Yeah.
I was there sitting on the end of the bench as a 9th grader.
You were fourth squad.
Yeah, I was below you. Well, you were my manager
I was
at
a
the time.
manager,
Yeah.
so I was sitting up next to the coach.
No, that was so fun getting to move up in 9th grade and just hang out with all the older kids.
But another good thing about being part of a small school is like, you know, I was completely out of sports in 11th grade. 12th grade, I get a call from Coach Cornett, and he's like, "Man, Tate, I could use your energy on the team. Why don't you be the manager?" And I was like, "Oh, Coach, I can play. It's no problem." He's like, "No, we don't really need any players, man." No, we don't need any players, man. We just
I
like
had to order an extra jersey for that.
Like
Oh my
we just
gosh.
we I think you'd fit perfect as a manager. And like seriously, I felt like I was born for that role. And that kind of got me, you know. I mean, of course, you got senioritis kicking in. You got that whole nostalgia trip of your senior year, but like I'd say senior year was the best, and I wouldn't go back to high school for
Oh, I wouldn't
anything,
either. Some
you
people
know?
are like, yeah, I want to play ball again. I'm like, nope, it ain't worth
I
it.
didn't play ball from like 8th grade or something up. As soon as Coach Cornett came in, I was like, I'm done. He's too serious for me. I couldn't handle him. But our senior year, we had a teachers versus students game,
Uh-huh.
and like the students only made like 8 points, I think, and I was 2 of those points because I stole a pass.
Is that when Mr. Brinkley jammed it twice?
Yeah.
Dude, that dude was
Pure
a beast.
athlete.
I hated that he left too.
Yeah.
He
That
was
pretty sad.
probably the best principal that we
Yeah.
ever had. Yeah.
Yeah, he was just a good. I like
Shout out to Michael Brinkley,
wherever you are.
living your best life.
Yeah.
That dude, perfect life.
Speaking of just life in general, why don't you tell us about your vacation, Anthony?
Oh well, we went to Hilton Head Island, South Carolina.
Okay.
It's on the Atlantic coast.
Yeah.
We stayed basically in between. Like, we could look to our right when we were on the beach and look out into the Atlantic Ocean, but we were on this place called Prince Royal Sound, and like just perfect. I mean, sure, it was humid as all get out, but like we were right on the water, so anytime it got too hot, we'd just go there, and everything about it was just perfect. Even the timing, like we left at just the right time. Not to say anything bad happened afterwards. It was just like, we'd spent a week there, and it was like, okay, well, enough time has passed. I'm ready to get this freaking road trip over.
How far is it? How far of a drive?
With the time change, it seems a lot longer. I think it was about 13 hours. We had to drive through Birmingham. Well, of course, Memphis. On the way there, Memphis was the absolute worst.
Just traffic?
Horrible
Yeah.
driving through.
Yeah.
They've never been done working on that. They'll be working on it for the rest of their lives.
So
the rest of my life.
we went through Memphis. We went through Birmingham. We went through.
You go that far south? Mm-hmm. You don't just
Yeah,
go
it's almost a
through
straight shot
Tennessee?
down. No, Memphis, Birmingham, from Birmingham, Alabama to Atlanta. We kind of skirted around Atlanta.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
That's like that 6-lane super
Oh
highway
my
rush
gosh,
hour
I was
traffic.
my dad told me about that. He's like, just pick a lane and stay there. Don't move. You'll be fine. But thank goodness we kind of, like I said, kind of skirted around all that, and then through Macon, Georgia, and
Macon.
and then kind of passed by Savannah, Georgia, which we later that week we went into Savannah, Georgia, which that was one of our trips that we took, our mini vacations during the vacation. We went to Savannah, Georgia, went to this place called the Bonaventure Victorian, I guess you'd call it a cemetery. I don't know if they have another name for it, but like you get to see like these gravestones from people born in like 1802. I mean, this is Savannah. If you guys don't know historically, that's where, I don't know if that's where it stopped, but Sherman's march didn't make it into Savannah. The mayor of Savannah had sent out an envoy of civilians to General Sherman of the Union Army to surrender the city, basically, so that it wouldn't be burned to the ground. And that's what we were told on our tour. I've also heard somebody saying that Lincoln ordered Sherman not to burn Savannah. Either way, but it's a beautiful town. I don't know if you guys have seen Spanish moss covered trees, but there's not a more beautiful sight than that.
Than the Spanish moss covered tree.
Oh my gosh. I've got pictures of it. I'll have to show you guys later. It's absolutely beautiful. Other than that, though, I mean, we just hung around the island and
Just chillaxed.
went on a dolphin tour. Met some folks
that's
from Van Buren, Arkansas, or
Really?
close around Van Buren.
It doesn't matter where you go. You're going to find somebody.
Someone who knows where you're from.
Remember last year when we went on the mission trip and we were in Iowa and we ran into that store, that deli store, and there was a sign in there for Fairfield Bay, Arkansas?
Yeah.
You remember that?
That was pretty wild. And Hans and Rachel went on a mission trip to Mexico and met some guy down there that knew where Batesville was. Yeah. Of course. Imagine that. Like,
I mean, that's the thing. And those people were like the classiest people on our boat.
the people from Van Buren County.
And it's not that they were exceedingly like, it's not that like I expect people from Arkansas to be trashy, but these people were,
But I do.
these people were good. Just everyone else on the on the boat was like Haley
Trashed.
Oh my gosh. Haley did an impersonation. I wasn't listening to these people. I was too busy paying attention to the dolphins. But she goes, at one point, there's these people crying. There's these kids crying, and they're like 3 years old. The mom's saying, shut up, just shut up. One's going, Mom, what's going on? Grandpa. Like you hear that every 5 minutes. And it's just, and then like we're going back to our car, and the guy who we're kind of standing beside this whole boat ride, he kneels down in the parking lot. And he's like going through his bag, and everybody's making a big deal about, oh, like, what's wrong with him? What's wrong with him? He was getting out a shot of Fireball. He's like, oh yeah, I'm about to shoot this, and then we're gonna go party.
Oh my gosh.
Like straight up, they could have.
That is a great segue into what I was wanting to talk about.
Oh, it is?
People, yeah, it is. Because that's what it seems like people are like now.
What, gonna take a shot of Fireball?
Yes, and go party. Are you done with your story?
Oh yeah, that's
Okay.
it. I mean, that was the vacation. It was
Just a good
Sounds
solid time with
I'm
the
ready
wife.
for our vacation.
Yeah.
I've never had a vacation.
It's a super highfalutin place though too. Real quick,
You go to New York all the time.
No.
but real quick, it was a super highfalutin place. Like there was a lot more money than I figured. Every third car on the road was Range Rover, Beamer, Lexus, Mercedes, high-end Mercedes. Like it was. Oh, I got to show you this picture of this house. The house itself is 20,000 square feet. They pay $36,000 in taxes every year. Is what our
Was this in Savannah?
no, this was in Hilton Head.
Oh, okay.
It was crazy, just crazy places. Anyways, to segue away, my friend.
Yes. In today's generation, in the world as we have it today, can anything be created that will ever be considered classic?
Good question.
Look at books. I have like people just read like Jane Austen books or C.S. Lewis books. There's just like all these old authors that just people love their books. They're just seen as classics. Music. Just back to the 80s. I don't think even in the 90s there's stuff that's going to be held on to even maybe from the 90s. But like classic rock, just like these one-hit wonders, and a lot of them were. A lot of people who made good music, they just did a one-hit wonder in like the 80s and just did hit for some reason. Art. When like I'm not big on the art scene, so I don't know anything. Like, is there going to be a Van Gogh? Is there going to be like with everything kind of going even digital? Like people make art now on like tablets and stuff. Can anything ever be like it was? Can we create something that is going to stand the strands of time and be seen in 100 years from now, if this world is still here, as something like worth having? Or have we just got into such a mass production, just a copy and paste society, that anything can be special? Because I don't think so.
Okay.
Change my mind.
Change my mind.
I think you bring up a lot of good points. I will say this. Around the time that Jane Austen, books like Jane Austen, the like of that were coming out, they were thought of as trash. Mm-hmm. They were thought of, oh, this is just works of fiction that women need to. It's a woman's thing to read books. It's absolute garbage. What do we view as garbage right now? Reality TV.
Oh God.
I'm not
Keeping Up with the Kardashians is gonna be a classic.
Straight up. Wait, listen. We're seeing the vast ocean of content being created. We're not seeing the refinement of time. There are things out there that are gonna.
Whoa.
Say it again. It didn't hit me like it hit AJ.
We're seeing the vast ocean of content being created. We're not seeing that refining process that comes in time. Jane Austen is a classic because it's lasted this long. It's a perfect representation of how society was then.
Yep.
What is a perfect representation of what society is now? First off, in literature, you've got a lot of young adult novels that are dystopian future. What does that tell you?
Twilight.
Well, that's not dystopian future. But what does that tell you? What does that tell you about our generation of riders, or the generation of riders that maybe they were born a generation before us? They view the future as dystopian. They view it as a dark, there's nothing good. That's a sign of the time that we're in, is we don't see hope on the horizon. We take hope for what it is right now. Whereas the generation before them, or before us, whoever, they could have seen it as, this is our future is bright. We can make whatever, we can put together whatever. And that's the thing. You get these rises and falls. I don't know if rise, that doesn't sound right. But anyways, you get the rise and fall of the perception of society. You get, think of it like the Lost Generation, which I don't know if you know about the Lost Generation. This was the generation that fought in World War One. They lived through the Dust Bowl. They read things like The Grapes of Wrath. They wrote things like The Grapes of Wrath.
That's a classic.
Yeah.
Horrendous book.
It's seen as a classic.
But you get these things like William Faulkner. All of the stuff that he wrote was really, I think Haley told me he's postmodern. I can't remember if it's modern or post. Anyways, you get these dark undertones, and then you get the Greatest Generation come out of that. The guys that fought in World War II. They grew up as kids during the Great Depression. They fought in World War II. They founded one of the things I think of. They founded Harley Davidson. One of these big companies. They pushed manufacturing to its core. They did all of these great innovations, but they had a generation before them that was just dark and dire and died in despair.
So maybe our next generation is going to be better than us.
That's, honestly,
I don't know. Well, see, are you saying like we're a lost generation or something?
no. I'm
saying
I'm saying what we have now is comparable to what the Lost Generation had. We're seeing all these dark things. We lived through 9/11 in America. We went through war after war, and everything's dark and dire, and we've got so much negative news flooding our lives. There's no regulation on that. There's there's just a lot of negative that we can look at. And if I were to say, hey, pick out 10 positive things happening, it may take you some time to figure out some positive things. If you think of naming 10 negative things, you could name 7 of them right off the bat, and then go, here are the other 3. You know what I mean? We're in that kind of,
you're saying we're not going to create anything, but if we have another generation, they might be a bit better than us?
I'm not saying that either, because there were, like I said.
Well, that's the question I want to know. Do you think we can create anything?
Well, that's what I'm saying, is Steinbeck, he wrote The Grapes of Wrath. Faulkner wrote, he wrote, that's when he got his start, was, kind of off of that. You've got so many, I think Faulkner was in the 60s instead. No, he died I can't remember. Anyways, there's still going to be great things come from, the 25, 30, 40-year-olds like us. It's just, we as people, as individuals, are going to see the darkest stuff. We're going to see the stuff that's just like, roll my eyes, fake news,
But you think 20 years down the road, there will be some things that stand the test of time. We just can't tell right now.
We'll see some things. Just think of the mediums. They had paper.
I was going to talk about that. I don't think we'll have a next Van Gogh. I don't think we're going to create new canvas art that's going to be seen as something.
Because it's not.
Movies, yeah. I think movies maybe that we make now can do something. Vehicles. I think people are making vehicles that will be seen as kind of art-like or something that is a classic maybe. Like the Shelby GT, that's back from the 60s. I think that we're making cars now that could probably, they're definitely better than that.
Oh, absolutely.
But that might be seen as beautiful maybe. Books, I don't know. People say, like, I follow quite a few booktubers, and what gave me this idea is this one guy was just like, what books are we creating now? The books, the Brandon Sanderson books that I've tried to get y'all to read. I'm blanking now.
Well, I think the big pillar of what this generation grew up on, the book that was founded in our childhood, Harry Potter.
Harry Potter, I think, will probably be a classic. He did say, though, that the Twilight series will be seen as a classic.
Harry Potter, Twilight, Artemis Fowl, Hunger Games.
Now, you said
Maze Runner.
dystopian things.
Young adult.
I think that is because Maze Runner, or not Maze Runner,
Hunger Games.
Hunger Games did so good that it's just a copy and paste thing again.
It's struck while the iron's hot.
Yeah.
Tyrel, what do you think?
I was gonna follow like somebody like H.P. Lovecraft, like his books. He wrote them 1920s all the way up through like the 30s, and he died, in poverty. Nobody read his books back then, but then after he died, 30 years later or so.
Part of my point, though, is it was a smaller world then.
Yeah.
Like,
it wasn't as connected.
No. See, here's where I stand, which I see it completely. I think I see it completely different from you. So there was some guy back in like the 50s that said that everything that's going to be created has been created.
No.
Was that who it was?
Andy Warhol said everybody in the future, everyone will get their 15 minutes of fame, but that's something completely
Okay,
different.
no. Somebody said like everything had been invented. There was nothing else. And out of that, we see cars get microwave, TVs became color, and now they're flat screen. Now they're curved. I mean, what's the next thing?
VR.
You can't. Yeah, right. I mean, everything advances, and I don't think you can look around and go, "Oh yeah, this is going to be a classic." You got to look back 20 years down the road. What's that song we're still singing? What's that movie we still are watching?
So you think you mentioned Uptown Funk? You think Uptown Funk is going to stand the test of time?
I think so.
Think it's already old. Think of it. You listen to pop rocks on XM a lot, just like I do. Those songs are classics. People that were around in the early 2000s didn't think, "Oh, that's a classic," and I still don't call it. It's not classic rock. It's pop rock from the early 2000s. But you think if My Own Worst Enemy by Lit comes on in 2040, we're not going to be singing it?
Oh, yeah.
Classic. And as a one-hit wonder. You look at that 1985, you know that song?
Yeah, Bowling for Soup.
Bowling for Soup. Know any other Bowling for Soup songs?
Yeah, a few.
You actually do?
A few, yeah.
Name one now.
Come Back to Texas.
Sure. Anyway, I also heard, I can't remember who it was. It was some producer in Nashville, or maybe it was Jay Joyce, maybe it was somebody else. Anyway, somebody asked him the question of like today's country music. Do you what did he think about it? And he said, well, a lot of people that look at it as like, oh, well, it's not country music anymore. Like, there's good things that come out of every generation of stuff. Mm-hmm. Even if we go, oh, yeah, well, Taylor Swift, that's not country music. Or we say, oh, well, Luke Bryan, Florida Georgia Line, that's not country music. Well, they've created classic things. Cruise, we'll be singing that in 30 years. Florida Georgia Line, Cruise. We will. Songs like...
I don't know that song now, so...
What's that? I heard that. There was one summer I worked at the golf course, probably 2012, maybe 2013, where that Cruise, Florida Georgia Line, and Toes by Zach Brown Band were the only songs I heard the whole summer out there at the golf course. People played them on repeat out there golfing all day. That's all I heard. That's going to be a classic. It doesn't seem like it is now. These things that are, 8, 10, 15 years old right now that we go, oh, yeah, that was a good song back then, or hey, that was a good movie back then. 30 years from now, when our kids are flipping through channels, that's a great movie. Leave that. What's going to happen. Yeah. So I don't think you can look at stuff now and say what's going to be a classic. I think it takes age, like you were saying, refining. We don't see that.
Yeah.
We can't look into the future and see what's going to stand the test of time.
Right.
But there will be things, and I don't think it'll be the trash.
Okay, will the
stuff.
Marvel Cinematic Universe be a classic? And it probably will be.
I think some of the movies will, maybe not all of them.
I know there's definitely going to be some movies that are definitely going to be classics that are going to be
the Avengers,
considered important to history, in fact.
But like I'm saying, I think those things are too close.
But another thing about it is, I was actually going to bring up Marvel. The way that they have taken these 20-some-odd movies and bound them together, that's a template. That's a
big deal.
template for somebody to
changing
step
things.
on
Yeah.
and make it greater. That's and that's what makes generations great, is using what we have learned as a collective to make something even better in the future. You know?
If we last that long.
Yeah. and that's another thing, is there's so much doom and despair. I know I keep using those
Well, I mean,
words.
you said to me today on our way over here, you picked me up, and you said, God willing, in 2025, we're going to re-audit people.
And the
or-
reason I said that, now,
I assumed it was like, we're not going to be here.
no.
That's just something
And
to say.
that's something I said because if you guys don't know, I mean, feel free to boo at whatever your listening device is, but I work for the appraiser, the county appraiser's office, so I appraise people's property for taxes. And
Somebody's got to do it.
that's the thing. That's how I have
It's
to
just
look
the
at
government
it. That's,
paying attention to us,
that's how I have to look at it to survive. But
snooping on our property,
exactly.
deciding what we're worth.
I don't have a problem with that.
But anyways, Arkansas, in our particular county that we work in, every 5 years we reappraise property. The God willing part was, God willing, it doesn't get shortened to 3 years, because it can be either 3 or 5 years, and it's a you have to
Busy
go
work for you, basically.
you have to go to every single property in your county. And
How many
appraise it.
years does that take?
Right now, 5. Hopefully, it doesn't take 3, because they set the time for you to get it done in.
You have to get it done in that amount of time.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you. You will have every house appraised, but I thought you were saying
Yeah.
by 2025 you would have to do it all again.
Yes,
That
that starts all over.
Well, that's the thing.
So this is your entire job. You just keep reappraising.
Yeah. See, if
Okay.
I visited a house this year, if we're on a 5-year, if they take our reappraisal and say, okay, well, you know, you guys seem to have gotten a lot of work done. It seems like, you know, there's not a huge amount of growth. So do this again in 5 years. You know, if it's like, okay, you guys are growing really fast, we can't keep up, we need you to do this every 3 years.
I see.
Yeah. See, that's what that's determined by, is growth.
So is this commercial property or just private?
All
Personal
of it.
property.
All of it.
How many people do this like what you do?
Right now, it's me and my manager.
There's 2 of you.
Yeah.
Do you split up and go do it, or you do it together?
I'm about to finish my training to become an appraiser. So it's basically been him and a third party contractor.
What's this house worth?
I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you what it's worth. I can tell you what it's probably graded as.
What?
That's what we graded as. Your house, we graded on a D1 to D7. D1 being like the Ritz-Carlton, like being somebody's house that's absolutely extravagant, okay? Yeah. D7 being dirt floor, can't live in it.
Okay.
Okay, this house, I would say, being that it's 2-story, being that it's rustic, it's got a style, it's pretty nice,
Yeah.
I'd say it's probably a D3.
That's what I was going to say.
I would
When
say
heard the scale, I was gonna
D3.
guess D3.
I would say because of the 8.
What about my little tin place?
That is actually a UB. It's a barn dominium.
What?
A barn dominium.
Utility building, UB. That's what we graded as. Lower taxes,
Smart.
you know.
Smart build, Seth.
I guess.
But where your worth is really determined, that D rating, it's also plus and minus. No, this wouldn't be just a D4 or a D3, whatever. It'd be a D3, I would say probably -5.
Okay, good.
And I am a rookie. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Well, you're not offending me. I was just
I
asking.
mean, you don't get to walk into people's houses. You're just basing this completely on looking at it, right?
We will never go into somebody's house unless they say, listen, look at this hole in my floor. Look at these holes in my ceiling. You know.
What if they say, look at this sweet man cave in my basement? Does that make it go up?
I will say, no.
When
Nothing.
I build a house, we're definitely building a sweet man cave.
Yes.
D&D room.
D&D
Absolutely. And I won't tell. Seth lives in a different county than me, so I don't have to say,
you don't appraise Seth.
this is nice. I tell you what, it'll make it really awkward when I go to somebody's house for a barbecue.
This is such a D7 -7. Gosh.
You D5 living people.
But like the worth.
This is a barn dominium.
I'm going back to my D2 +4.
But that also, it's also the age that really determines things too. If you built this house in '88 and you've kept it relatively upkept, it's still going to go down in age. So that'll cause it to depreciate a little bit.
Interesting.
Yeah. Anyways, that's been your tax minute.
Enough of that. I guess you guys give me a little bit more hope. I don't know. Like, there's just so many people writing their own little books are crazy. Like, y'all, I don't know, y'all don't read very much, but everyone and their sister is publishing a book nowadays.
Yeah, and
like,
what's going to happen is it's all going to sift, and what's the classics are going to be what stays.
Mm-hmm. And that's
the Twilights, the Harry Potters.
You hit on something really important there. You've given me hope. and I know that sounds silly. But
Corny.
like, no. Like, seriously, you look at people that are our age, and we're getting to that age where we're finding out, oh man, maybe I'm not the boy who lived. Maybe I'm not the
we're just the
golden
commoners.
child.
We're the commoners.
You know, like
Taking advantage.
it's perfect. You know,
Yeah.
like
Never did get
it's the
my
perfect name.
letter in the mail.
You know, and that's
To go to Ilvermorny.
What are you
is
talking
that an
about?
American?
That's the American wizarding school.
Now, what is their house?
I don't know.
One of them's a Thunderbird. I know that. But anyways, like the big thing is like we can't just survive day to day. We got to have an ultimate, like a hope. We got to have good news. We got to have a good thing, and that's why I'm so faithful. That's why I have the faith that I have, is because if I didn't have that, I just
What would there be?
how mundane would my life be if I didn't believe in what has literally occurred in my life? And that's through my faith. I mean, I'm not talking about prosperity gospel. I'm not talking like I'm rich, I'm living in a great house. I live in a double wide, man. I'm renting a double wide.
D5.
Double wides are a completely different thing come to Texas.
Okay.
But like seriously, I'm renting a double wide. I'm nearly 30 years old, and like,
And you're on a podcast talking about D&D.
yeah,
I mean,
like,
This is great.
Yeah.
like
We're gonna stand the test of time. We're gonna
classic.
rise above that sifting.
The Commoners is a classic.
We're just a speck of gold that you're gonna pan out in 50 years and pay attention to.
yeah, they're gonna do podcasts about us.
We're gonna forget about this in 50 years.
yeah.
I hope
But
not. I hope we're
seriously-
still doing this in 15 years.
But in all
50, I said.
seriousness,
50?
Yeah.
Still. I hope we're all alive in 50.
We'll be the old commoners of D&D back then.
that's it. But seriously, the big thing is like you've got to find an overarching hope. You've got to find something to latch onto and to be happy about, because if your mood is determined by the news, well, guess what? Bad news.
That's
You
what
know,
they don't-
all
they're
day, every day,
it's
you will
supposed
find
to
something.
be bad news.
You will, if you're looking at other people are going to, there's going to be an off day. Even the most positive of us is going to have an off day, and that's going to let us down. Like, there's good to be seen out there. You just have to almost throw on blinders. You almost have to take it for what it is. Like, oh,
You gotta
man,
look for it. It ain't gonna come to you.
that's the thing. You look for it and you hold on to it. There might be negative things attached to it, but like, do it, man. President's only president for 4 years. You know what I mean? Like, you can't hold on to that.
Right.
And that's not picking fun at anybody. You got to find something solid to hang on to.
Right. Good stuff. Deep
Sorry,
chat.
yeah. Hashtag deep thinking.
Hashtag instant classic. Hashtag Seth's wrong. I'm just kidding.
I think that
No, I understand.
I just like the oil painting. I don't think that there'll be museums full of people like
It'll be Ninja's
Maybe.
first console
yeah.
in the museums
Yeah.
or something.
Well, I mean, that may be true. That may be a dying thing. Some things, but out of that, I think other things are coming to be. You know,
Video games could be like seen as like
Classic.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, yeah. Like
and beautiful pieces of art too.
I mentioned earlier, Harley Davidson came out of the veterans that came back from World War II. You know, like, and I'm not saying there's any kind of
Comparison.
veteran influx coming in.
Yeah.
But like a new industry that's been founded is the video game industry. Is professional gaming. That's a thing. Like,
that's true.
And that's another great segue for On the Console.
What's our time over there?
1:37. We got a little bit. We can just say what we're playing.
Okay.
A little quick thing. I think my wife's waiting for us outside. Waiting for me outside.
Oh, is she?
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. Okay. Yeah, I've been playing BioShock. So
Infinite.
BioShock
You have to
Infinite.
ooh.
Say that.
Super interesting game.
He didn't
know.
play the other two. He didn't.
That's
even
okay.
Know.
Do they link together?
They
Are
do.
you
link.
the
They
same
absolutely
character in
do.
all of them?
I'm not gonna say.
They have a list. They have BioShock 1. You can get all three of them for one thing. That might just be a PlayStation thing. I don't know. I have it.
But there's some connections to be drawn to all of the BioShock games within Infinite, because Infinite is.
Who's the leader of Infinite? Who's the man that they all like look up to and revere?
Comstock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Is
Yeah,
that-
Tyrel,
that's not the
all he's
same-
done is
I only
watch me
played
play it
one.
for 15
I only played
minutes and he
BioShock
knows.
1.
Oh no! See, if you only played one, you are in for it, dude.
You got to play like the BioShock 1 thing is just crazy.
Yeah.
Like
Rapture.
Rapture was awesome.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I'll play them. I don't know. I just saw it at Walmart. So I bought
Well, it'll be neat. You'll play BioShock Infinite. You'll see bits and pieces of this game that you don't even
Is
know.
Infinite supposed to be before BioShock 1 though?
Infinite is. I can't remember. It's intertwined.
I'm pretty sure it's like a prequel because it's supposed to like 1920s or whatever, isn't
So
it?
it kind of works.
And then like the Rapture is like underwater,
Yeah.
isn't it? And it's like 50s or something like
Oh,
that.
so maybe I should play them in 3-1-2.
Maybe.
Sure.
See,
I know 2 comes out.
I will be telling you this. Your brain's going to be in a pretzel knot.
They come up with some good writing.
Infinite.
Like,
Infinite.
I need
Even
to
more
play.
so.
I need to finish 2 and I need to do Infinite 2.
it's weird. It's definitely not what I thought it was.
I'm telling you, when you get to the end of Infinite, text me,
Okay,
because I'm serious. It's going to blow your mind.
I kind of doubt it.
You're gonna be.
I never know what's going on.
You're gonna be twisted up. I know.
I'll
I know.
get
And
it.
it's
How
gonna,
the word at you is this? Seeing that one?
what is it?
Oh my gosh!
I'm sorry.
No. Or is that
Kind of.
Okay. that's what I
Kind
thought.
of.
I've not played it. I've heard.
He's not like not a. I don't think he's a big part of it though.
Anyway, Anthony, what are you playing? Playing anything?
I am playing Zelda Breath of the Wild, and the completionist in me is I am working on my Hyrule Compendium, which means it's a list of every single thing in the game,
He has
and
to take a picture of it.
I'm taking pictures of everything in the game.
AJ just got depressed
Oh
again.
my gosh!
It's
Listen, he started playing Arkham Asylum and said, "No, I'm not even going to pick up all those trophies."
what? That's the coolest part. There's riddles. Riddles you gotta solve.
No, I might do that, but okay. Here, for instance, BioShock the other day, I was playing and I came across some
I wish I get
door.
to pick up little bitty like recordings and stuff.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to get all those. There's certain things that if I see it's possible to get them all, I'm going to try. But I came across something and it said, "Oh, you can't open this right now, but some things you can come back and open later or something." I went, "Yeah, I'm going to come back." Sorry, no.
Yeah, that's
if the
funny.
game doesn't lead me back there, I ain't going.
Yeah.
That is so weird.
When the
That is
game's
so
when I
weird.
play through the story, I'm done.
You won't. You just need it. You need to keep playing.
I am on my second playthrough of Mass Effect 1 right now, almost done with it, and then I'm going to start a third one to complete it. Getting those trophies.
See, I used to could do that with games like Spyro, Ape Escape. They're linear. You play levels, you finish. And I would try to complete everything on those. But games now are like
Open world?
Open world.
Well, open world just means you can keep going back
Round
to the same
and
places.
round and
you don't have
round.
to. If you miss it, like I just played through the Sly Coopers a while back ago, and like there's just I have to look for this little bitty bottle, and it's
Yeah.
so linear,
And you
and you're
can hear
being
it.
chased by Carmelita on 1. This is game 1.
Yeah.
If you miss it, you have to start all over, and
Well,
I hate that.
Well,
Open
what
world
I
is so
hate
much
is
better.
like Spyro 2, they put in the climbing aspect, but you don't learn to climb until you're like further into the game from the first couple levels that have climbing stuff. So you have to go back to those levels just to climb up there and pick up like 3 gems if you want to complete it, which I hate that. I hate when the game makes me go back.
You're gonna hate Arkham City.
Oh my gosh.
Right.
I loved Arkham City.
It's such a good
I'm not playing
game.
Arkham City. I'm playing
Arkham Asylum was my favorite.
Oh, so you think I want to play all of them now or something?
If you would actually play it, yeah, you'd get into it. Arkham City is so good. Like, you don't have to play Arkham Knight if you don't really want to. Arkham City and Arkham Asylum, you got to play those two.
Okay.
I played Arkham Knight because I wanted to finish some of the storytelling that started in Arkham City.
I thought it was funny how surprisingly similar Arkham Asylum and Assassin's Creed are as far as the mechanics, and how Seth doesn't like Assassin's Creed.
It's Batman versus something I don't care about.
Still
History.
climbing up stuff and jumping off.
Yeah,
killing
but you
people.
have a utility belt.
I have Batarang.
In-
Tyrel, what are you playing? Stellaris?
I'm still playing Stellaris, yeah.
That's all we need to know. All right, Seth, what about? I'm just kidding. I watched Tyrell play this the other day.
Okay. No. About like
Don't.
taking pictures of everything on the.
It's Farmville. That's all it is.
It's not Farmville.
Farmville, Clash of Clans.
Well-
That's hilarious.
I just ascended my entire race into psionics, so
Ooh, psionics. That's neat.
Listen, this is what the game looks like. It looks like it's a page, and you scroll down through it, and you have all these different things that you have to put money into, and he's got all these numbers. It looks like he's like on Wall Street working the stock market, and there's this strip across the top. And so, what are those numbers up there? He's like, well, this one here shows that I'm
your
losing
energy
money.
credits, you got minerals, you have
I took
alloys,
over all these planets, and I don't have the resources to take care of them.
You're having to manage it all while like trying to conquer.
It's not
Now,
like
quick
StarCraft.
question.
It's not like StarCraft.
This is something that's extended. Like you start it and you don't stop playing.
Yeah.
It's
So,
perpetual.
Like Farmville.
See, StarCraft.
Like Clash of Clans, when you fire up the game, you got to click on all your gold,
so
mines and your elixir things.
Dark Elixir.
There's a time limit you have before the end of time, basically. Once you get to certain points in the game, it activates.
Civilization.
It's actually, I think the same people that make that might be the same people that make
We say this
Star
every
Wars.
time. Oh, so like
But-
Civilization.
But okay, so like at a certain point, there'll be like an event that'll happen. They'll like have some empire that's been destroyed for millennia reawaken and like try to take over the entire galaxy.
Ooh.
And they're way stronger than anybody else on the map.
Yeah.
Sounds like Mass Effect.
Yeah, it is kind of like Mass Effect in that aspect. In my game, I actually have 2 fallen empires. One is a xenophobic purifier, which is really, really bad.
Ooh.
He hates aliens, so he goes and kills them and takes over their planet.
Yeah, they don't just hate aliens. They literally go to their planet and deploy these planet cracking laser things that blow up an entire planet, like kind of like Death Star.
You're horrible.
Not me.
You're the bad guy.
Not me.
No.
They
They have awakened in his universe.
They will.
Oh, I thought
They
you
haven't
were
yet.
running
He's got
that.
to fight them.
No, I'll have to fight them.
Oh, I thought
eventually.
you were running that. Okay.
I was thinking about doing that. I didn't do that, though. I went with a mega corporation with this one. And
Mega
they're-
corporate.
Even worse.
Capitalist. Free
Walmart.
He's got a space Walmart.
We in the empire.
By and
of-
large.
By and large.
We in the empire of Costco.
I saw a thing like apparently there's a fantasy Costco or something that people put in all their games. That's just where they buy things. Like it's not Costco, but it's obviously Costco, and it has some kind of fantasy name twist on it. And people just put it in their games, and that's where you buy stuff, and it's pretty funny.
But the other Fallen Empire is a fanatic xenophiles, and they're also
Xenophiles.
pacifists.
Ooh.
So they are like into like research and stuff like that too.
Defense only.
the
No
Asari.
offense.
Yeah, kind
not-
of. But they're weird looking. They're like this weird looking monkey race that has like 8 eyes. Weird looking.
That's where we're headed, folks. Evolution.
And in further news, Kanye
Well-
West is running for president this year. Drop mic.
Not the bad. Not. I feel like that's a bad move for Kanye. Go ahead, Tyrell. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, let me put it like this: they're so powerful that I gave them the DNA from a corpse that I found on a planet that I was like researching. That they brought.
You lose me sometimes, and then you say this, and it just sounds interesting again.
They brought back that race of aliens.
So
They're that powerful.
So they're the Dr. Frankenstein.
Kind of. I guess.
How can you say they're good if they're bringing about all this bad?
Seth,
No.
what are you playing? Mass Effect still?
I'm still playing Mass Effect.
You just
yeah.
said that.
Yeah,
But
I know.
I
but
am.
Thought there might be
I am
something
so
else.
like when the PS5 comes out and not Fallout 2077.
Fallout
Cyberpunk.
77? Oh, Cyberpunk
I'm
2077.
totally gonna be all over
Yeah,
that game.
I think I'll play that.
That looks
A lot
like
of
it'd be
games I'm gonna
fun.
want to play. I ain't gonna be able to. I ain't gonna be able to do anything but play video games.
From what I've seen, it looks like you can build your character however you want to build it. Like, it looks
Yeah,
pretty
you don't
cool.
even have to choose a gender.
Or you can,
Of course not.
Yeah, make your genitalia bigger and
Right.
smaller.
Oh,
or
man.
whatever.
Looking
can
forward
turn
to
it-
that.
You can turn it into whatever you want.
Which I mean, people are acting like that's crazy, but you could do the same thing in
Saints Row.
Saints Row. Yeah. I don't know if the way they're blurring it out, it looks like they're going to show you the genitalia in this game, and they just had underwear on Saints Row. But
Oh my gosh.
Sims also, I think you could do that. Which, when we talked about games that really changed our lives, Sims was one for me. Like original
I
Sims,
think I got
loved
that.
original Sims.
Huh. Which is such a weird thing to me. I couldn't get into it.
I'm actually playing a lot of Sims right now too. I'm like, Cynthia moves the PlayStation 4 and the PS3. She just switches them back and forth. So I'll play whichever one is in the bedroom at the time. So I've been trying to complete the Sims 4 too.
You know, Sims people are on a completely different level than you or I.
The old games that had a campaign were much better than this just free living, like open world thing.
Dude,
But one and two were so good.
Okay, if you ever
With
get
their campaign.
the spare time, go to Reddit and look up Sims, because there's Reddit. There are entire communities on Reddit dedicated to it. Like hardcore Sims fans were super excited about the types of stairs that you could get in the new Sims. Like that was the hill they were dying on.
Wow.
Stairs.
Stairs.
We just found, like, Cynthia figured out how to make round counters, and she got pretty excited about that. So
See what I mean?
On
Think-
that happy note.
Listen,
tune in. We're gonna make some round counters and make some stairs in our commoners game, guys.
No, we're not. But be sure and check out Tiger Skull RPG.
yeah, Tiger Skull.
TigerSkullRPG.com and Patreon.com/Tiger Skull RPG. And also go check out the video we did
We
on
just
our
posted a
YouTube channel.
video. AJ did amazing on it.
No, and Seth and Tyrel, and that was it. It was just and Cynthia filmed some.
Yeah, Cynthia filmed. Yeah, I did a lot of voiceover that AJ completely destroyed and got rid of. And I told
Well,
him before.
that-
I told him when he left. I was like, "That's all bad. I can tell."
No, it wasn't because it was bad. It was because I couldn't edit. It was just hard.
Yeah.
It would
You
have
did
been
it
hard
right.
to
Yeah.
edit.
We need to
and
start
then-
doing it like this. Like we
Yeah.
need to just voice over.
Yeah.
Separate from
We will. We
trying to
learned.
video.
We
Yeah.
learned from that. Yeah. I
We
don't
were
know
trying
why
to
we were
video
trying-
and voiceover at the exact same time when you can make a video and then
So
just voice over that.
I'd mess up the shot, or Seth would mess up the voiceover, and
We have to start over.
Yeah, it was just dumb.
We're
I don't know
dumb.
why we did it like that.
Yeah.
It was stupid.
Just clip it together.
Anyway, so yeah, YouTube, the commoners.
Get some likes on there, get some views.
Yeah.
That views count's actually jumping up quite a bit. Like we already have almost 50 on that video.
Yeah, on that one. Yeah, I just posted it yesterday.
That's actually something to celebrate. Now I know it sounds small time when you look at all these videos that.
Yeah, that one's been out a lot longer and it's only over 100 or
yeah,
so.
I'm kind of surprised that our table walk around. Hey, if you haven't looked at our YouTube channel, go watch all of our videos.
We have more planned. Like
We've got some
the
film.
biggest thing about like I wish you were gonna be here just so we could do their
I'm sorry.
fight, their battle.
Yeah, I know.
I'm super excited about the battle thing.
The next time.
Next time, we're
Tune in for the Commoners of D&D coming up this week.
Yep.
But
Saturday.
we got a lot of stuff coming up. I'm still trying to get TikTok figured out. I'm thinking about like shouting out our TikTok. I don't know if I want to do little skits or not. Can't think of anything.
Just do
creative.
something. Just put something out.
Need to.
Yeah.
Content.
Yeah.
Oh no, actually. Following this episode, there will not be an episode of the Commoners of D&D that Saturday. It'll be the next Saturday,
yeah.
July 25th.
But it will be.
It's gonna be deep. It's gonna be crazy.
We are going to be doing it. We're
Yeah.
going to be doing an
Yeah,
episode.
y'all are doing an episode on the 11th.
Yeah.
But it won't be available until the 25th.
And we're finally caught up on these. We're going to be able to
pretty much.
actually post
we're
these.
gonna be
actually
talking
after the
about them
game,
right after the game.
instead of having to remember 3 or 4 months back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it.
Well,
See you
if
guys.
that's it. Hey, it was great talking with all of you. Great listening to all of you. Everybody, we talked about a lot of heavy stuff. Stay hopeful.
I'm shutting it
Stay
down.
happy.
Thanks for listening to Say It in Common with the Commoners of D&D. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast to make sure you never miss an episode, and follow us on Facebook and Instagram at The Commoners Official for news, updates, and exclusive content. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.